We got so much going on today, guys. This is the Christmas elf team from my sewing room. Got Leah and Barb
and Linda.
I don't know where I'm waving at.
For the next couple weeks, Tuesday through Friday, we are doing 12 days of decorations. And each day we've got 2 to 3 levels of ornaments or decorations and multiple ways of doing each project. So we've got the good old, white glue and buttons for kids. So hopefully you can either do these crafts with your kids, grandkids. Not that you're allowed to have anybody over, but maybe you have kids at home that you need to entertain. And then hopefully something that will be a middle age range for those harder to please teenagers or tweens. And then for those of you who don't have any of those younger people in your life and just love to create, we have some stuff for you as well. So there's some scan and cut information, there's some embroidery, there's some machine stitching.
Hand stitching.
Yeah. But we're a sewing store, so I can safely say there's no baking. What? Oh, there's going to be files available for you guys.
So the files will include an instruction sheet that shows you from 0 to 5, 6 to 12 in adult, what materials you can use, what notions you need. And if there's a scan and cut file, it'll be in there. If there's an embroidery file, it will be in there. If it's a pattern, like today we're doing hand-stitched ornaments, pattern will be in there along with some stitching guidelines. Thank you. Yeah. So it'll be all there under day 1. So shall we start with our first one?
Yeah, go ahead, Barb.
So what I'm doing is really, really simple and actually very, very relaxing. This is your basic acrylic craft felt. We also have a lovely selection, point ladies. Vanna, yes.
Back here.
Vanna is plural.
We can't see any of it all the way.
That's okay. Wool felt. We've got some books. Unfortunately, not Christmas oriented here, but that's okay. So this was an idea from Anne. You just take your felt, and this is cut into an ornament shape. And you find yourself a fancy button. You find yourself a button. You find yourself a thread. So I think this one was done with a pearl cotton, a variegated pearl cotton. And this one was done with a sulky metallic thread. So the metallics
so that's going to shimmer in the tree lights, right?
And what I'm using on this one, which camera are we on here? This guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we there?
Yeah.
Not quite close. This one I'm using a thread, a Wonderful thread called Glamour. It's a metallic, is it metallic and rayon? Anyway, it stitches really nicely. Yeah. This is the sample spool. I think Dawn's pulled some razzle out at the back as well. Wonderful stuff. You get yourself a fairly good sized needle with a decent eye, and you just sew. I'm free forming. I'm just sewing on the button and then saying, where will I go now? With this one, so this was a star, so I'm putting little star rays on it. And when I've got those done, then I'll decide what else it needs.
If it needs anything else.
If it needs anything else. And then when you think you've got enough stitching on it, on the front one, you can take a piece of different colored felt, set your ornament down on it, do a little nice blanket stitch around the edge, and then trim a scant quarter, maybe a little less, 1/8 to 1/4 inch around it. So you have a nice clean looking back on your ornament, and you can hang it on the tree. No, you don't have to stuff it. I think they're gorgeous actually. This is Leah's colors and this is Anne's colors.
So Leah's colors are her beautiful turquoise and almost a fuchsia. And this orange. Is the other one, orange and pink to go with it. So this is another one that Barb did. Now all these ideas are in the download for you. So we've got a variety of stitches in here. We have lazy daisies. We have, I call them chicken feet because that's what they look like.
Yep.
And again, she's just put the bigger piece of felt on the back, blanket stitched it, trimmed around. So it covers up your back, so it's nice and clean.
Now, are those the basic stitches, basic embroidery stitches? Is that something that is in your download?
No, I just have samples of what they look like.
Okay. So, but they're very, very easy to find in any of our resource books.
So here's another one. Now, Anne did this one, right?
I did that one.
You did this one? Of course Barb did it, right?
That has
She
some-
used a piece of lace to go over top. We all have scraps of lace with a button. Some lazy daisy, and she actually put a different piece of felt on the top, so it looks like it's the knob that hangs the ornament. Right? We have some French knots here, nice and clean on the back.
So if we wanted kids to do something like that, the buttons, you could certainly have them glue on,
Because they're
or
lagging.
you could use even a hot glue gun. One of the low temp hot glue guns is pretty good for most kids unless they're really young.
So we have a selection of Wonderful Pearl Cotton. This is an 8-weight. Now, I've explained on some of my YouTube videos the difference in weight. Wonderful is a product, a Canadian product. Its headquarters is in Calgary. And of course, they have gorgeous colors. Gorgeous colors, right? And they have a lot of these. Look at some of these colors. Now, this is a Leah color, right?
Oh, it's so sparkly and it's so orange.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Now, this is a Razzle
It's like
Dazzle.
this one.
This is called Razzle Dazzle. And then, of course, you have your standard DMC floss. Now, usually when you're using pearl cotton, you use 1 strand. Now, Barb, if I was using floss, would I use 2 strands or 3?
I would use 2 or 3 depending on how chunky you want it. I've had better success with 2 strands with the felt. But it just depends on the look that you want.
So,
and you can also use, say, 2 strands of a DMC and throw in a single strand if you have a metallic thread. You know, so something like even their spotlight.
yes.
You could throw in a single strand of that with your DMC, because sometimes you might love this and it just doesn't have exactly the right color that you want, but there's so many colors in DMC.
We have the newer colors as well. So
Yes.
there's like 500 or 600 DMC colors out there.
Yep.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Some of us have every color.
Oh, we should maybe
think
mention
s-
scissors if you're going to be cutting wool out.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the key things. Now, applique is my first love, and I was fortunate enough to actually take a number of applique classes from Karen K. Buckley. These are her scissors,
I
and
did
they
one with
are the best. The green ones, which we're out of again, are the best. Some of us have 3 pairs. They actually have serrated teeth, so when you go to cut out, it grabs your fabric, and it's a beautiful cut. It's a beautiful edge on here. And these are wonderful for your hands. I don't have any issues with my arthritis and using these scissors where other ones would be. These make great gifts. And we've also, Barb has used this very fine rickrack for the hanger. So we have, as we destroy Dawn's thing again.
This is
Well, we have to show them what
Yeah.
we've got, all the fun stuff.
So, look at this. That's what, a 1/4 inch?
Oh, yeah.
baby.
If
rickrack.
that, baby rickrack. So beautiful. I like these ones. Leah showed us something. This is the OESD Perfect Punch. That's on my Christmas list.
Okay, got the hint. Thank
Got the
you.
hint, good. Right? So it comes with different hole sizes. And you literally punch. Can we do one? So the size that we have in here is actually a fairly small size.
Probably 2 millimeters is what I was cutting yesterday.
So instead of cutting it out with your little scissors, and I wish I had had this many years ago. So it's literally, you're going to push down and punch it. So go in the middle, push it down, and it cuts the hole just like that. and the little end just goes in there, and they eventually
fall out.
Yep. We have many different sizes.
This one runs 1.5 millimeters up to 4 millimeters.
Now, Leah showed us how to change this. Let's go to a bigger one. Assuming I can get it out.
There's a lot of applications for a hole punch like that.
There you go. So it just goes in like a drill. I tightened it. I'm going to put one down here. Right down in here. Now you would more than likely have both layers of the felt in there. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
You could even create a design with those.
Couldn't you?
Punch a row of
all
holes,
around.
and then when you layer your felt like this,
Yeah, and that color would come through.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
So, as Barb can attest, some of her needles are a little old. I think that was a hint.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I think.
So, and one of the things about clover, they're very, very good quality. Sorry, very good quality. Like I said, I love applique. I can do hand applique. I can embroider. A really good needle makes all the difference. A new needle will slide effortlessly through your felt. Now we're using a wool felt. There's a percentage of wool and acrylic in that, and it's actually much easier to sew through than just a straight acrylic. Barb's finding it very lovely to sew through.
This is beautiful, yeah.
So when you're doing something larger like what she's doing, you want something that has a larger eye on it. These are standard embroidery needles. We're going to use something very fine with pearl cotton. Okay.
Those are some big ones.
Yep.
So just like your needle in your sewing machine, you're going to match it to your thread.
Yes. So now these are the larger eyed ones. So this would be appropriate for pearl cotton, which is typically an 8-weight. Or if you've got, 6 to 12-year-olds, those will be easy to use. And of course, this is actually really handy. It'll actually cut your thread. So if we were going on an airplane, which none of us are, right? You can actually still do your hand sewing. Don't have to worry about bringing scissors with you. This actually cuts your thread. And there are those of us that need to have thimbles, because after you sew too long, you'll actually get a hole in here and then you'll bleed on your project. Ask me how I know that.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
You know, want to know my favorite for that spot? That actually the it's called thimble it.
Yep, they're little
sticky
pads.
things.
They go
And
right on
duct
there.
tape just doesn't work.
No. And so these are another options, right? This is a leather thimble that works out quite well.
There's more options out there. I know there
There
is.
is lots.
Oh,
That was
there's
just
lots.
today's options.
Yes. And then of course we have the standard leather one. But I want to show you next some of the cool buttons that if you don't have, we have here. So lovely Dawn has picked out a selection of buttons, and our lovely Vanna here will help. Look at the star. Isn't that so pretty? And of course Barb's doing. So if you had a larger one, most of the ornaments that we've put out on the website, they come to about 3 inches high. But if you have a printer, you can
Scale it up.
scale it up. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
What's next?
Drum roll.
We have another ornament for today.
Yes. So this is my very first digitized ornament. Be kind to me.
That's the first rule of 2020 is be kind.
Mhm.
The second rule is be calm. And the third rule is be safe. And the fourth rule is don't hoard the
Toilet paper. So designed a toilet paper ornament that is available in Pez or EXP for Bernina. And I designed it so you can either stitch the year out or not. But you have to remember 2020, right? And then, of course, I did one because we all want to keep Anna in our good books with her be kind, be safe, be calm. Wouldn't that be fun to give to your friends so they could put it on their tree?
I am definitely making more.
Yes.
Those would even make cute little package tags.
Yep. Absolutely.
When I stitched these out, I used heavyweight cutaway stabilizer. And a heavyweight cutaway stabilizer in your felt ornaments will keep them stiff when they go into storage for the winter. And they hang nicer on the tree because they're just a little bit heavier. And then on white felt, you don't have to worry about the white edge of the stabilizer. You don't need to worry about picking it out. Just trim it when you trim the felt out.
So all of their digitized designs will fit in a 4x4 hoop. They all work about 3.8 inches tall. So they all work in the smallest hoop that Brother or Bernina have.
And then I use the OESD Perfect Punch to punch the eyelets.
Yay!
And I use the 1.5 millimeter punch, which was a little tricky, and I had to do it a couple times to get through the felt because it's quite a small hole. But that's okay. It worked great. And then the other thing that's behind you is tape.
And of course tape, because if anybody watched Leah and myself on Friday, I think we went through a whole roll of our tape. You have to have tape for everything. Okay? And if you don't need tape, you just need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's to hold the back piece on.
Yep.
Because it's a 2-layer felt. So you do most of the stitching on the front layer, and then the very last step you add felt on the back of the hoop to cover up the messiness of the back of the embroidery.
Because look at them. They look beautiful on the back. Ooh. I know.
And that's the key. You use the Brother PE Design 11 to do the digitizing.
Yes, which we'll be having a course in 2021 on. There. So this one we're calling day1.zip. So when so this is already downloaded to my computer. When I double click on it, obviously I can't double click right now. You're going to see the contents of all the files. So here you see there's the stitching samples, the ornament, they're all PDF. Anything that you print off, whether it's the pattern or the instructions, are PDFs. You can see the Bernina embroidery, and you can see the Brother Pez ones. So this is, you're just looking inside the zip file. The most important thing, see this little icon up here? It says extract all. You need to do that. So I'm going to extract it, select a destination, and I'm going to put mine, where shall I put mine today? I'll just put it on the desk. No, I'm going to put it in. Oh, you can see I can do lots of stuff here. Linda's Embroidery Designs, select folder, and they're going to all extract to there. So now I can find them when I'm ready to stitch.
Anyway, thank you for joining us for day 1 of Ornaments. It was fun. And what should we end with? Be kind?
Be calm.
And
What's the other one?
be safe.
Yes! Thanks, guys.
Bye.